Mr. Pietras here. Today we're going to be creating a Excel spreadsheet called Excel Shop. And what you're going to be doing is literally shopping for 5 different items at 5 different stores. And we're going to use our Excel spreadsheet software to calculate some basic functions and also to create a chart to help visualize the data in our Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so what you're going to be doing, like I said, is we're going to be shopping for some different items, and you'll get to pick those 5 items out. And you need to choose stores that we can find all 5 of those items at and compare their pricing. And what you're going to do is go ahead and type in the price that you find after you do some research for each item at each store. And what we're going to be doing is using some different functions today. The first function we're going to use is the one that you're already familiar with, is the sum function. So what we're going to do is we want to calculate the totals as if I were to buy all 5 items at each store. So what we're going to do is go ahead, after I have all my totals at each store, go ahead and select our data here. Okay, and I've already created a row for total. And I'm just going to go up here to my editing toolbar and where it says auto sum and click auto sum, and it should calculate the sum from each store if I were to buy all 5 items. And what you're seeing here, these bunch of pound signs, these represent data that's too large to fit into the columns. So what you'll need to do is go ahead and enlarge those columns so that our data fits in there. Next, we're going to work on the minimum price at each store. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to the same area as our auto sum function, but we're going to choose minimum. Okay. And you can imagine here, if I had more than 5 stores, like hundreds of stores, it would be a lot harder to find this information. So if I were to use a function, it would make that result a lot easier to find. So if I go to min, okay, and it's going to estimate the different cells that I want to use, and it's actually correct here. So I want to use B7 through F7. So I'm okay with that selection, so go ahead and click on enter. Okay. And since I already have that function set up, I can grab my fill handle here in the bottom, drag that function down. Okay. And what that's going to do, if you look at the function toolbar at the top, it says it's a relative function. It's copied the function down, but the numbers have changed due to the information in the columns. Okay. Same thing with the maximum. We're going to go to our function option up here, and we're going to choose maximum instead. I want to find the highest price at each store. Okay. Okay, this time my selection is a little off because it also includes the minimum function, which I don't want to include in my selection. So I'm going to left click and drag. Okay. And I'm just going to select cells B through F7. Okay. And once I'm happy with my selection, go ahead and hit enter. Okay. Again, I'm going to drag that down using my fill handle. Save myself a lot of work. Okay. Next, I want to find the average, and again, I don't want to include the minimum and the maximum in my average because that may throw off my data a little bit. So again, go up here and go to average. Okay. Again, need to adjust my data selection here. Again, my column's a little too narrow, so we need to widen that up. There we go. Okay, now that we have our data all set up on our Excel spreadsheet here, what I want to do is show my information in a visual format. So we're going to create a bar chart to do that. And what I'm going to do is just select my data, starting with my different items, and go ahead and select them at all the different stores. Okay. And from here we're going to go to the Insert menu. And we're going to insert either a column or a bar chart. You get to choose which type you want to use, but we don't want to use a line, a pie, or any other type of chart for this particular project. So if we go ahead and choose a column chart, okay, and we're just going to compare all of our 5 stores here. Okay. So here is my chart. It's comparing pricing, has a legend, has all my different stores, and my pricing over here on the left-hand side. What we can also do is add a title to the top by clicking up here in our chart layouts. And here you can be creative with your own title. I'm just going to call it Video Game Console Shopping Comparison. And just like any other text, we can change the color in here. So if you want to make your text flow a little bit better with the rest of your content, you can do that. I'm going to use a blue font here. There we go. The last thing we're going to learn how to do today is to get everything to print on one page. So what we want to do is go ahead and select all of our contents. So let's start down here at I-30 and drag all the way up to A1. And we're going to go to Page Layout. Okay. And looking at our data, it's going to look a lot better if we print it out in landscape, because our content is wider than it is tall. Next, you're going to notice this line over here shows where the page is going to get cut off, this hidden line here. So let's go ahead and set our print area anyway, just to make sure that it's set correctly. That way Excel knows what I want to print out. And then I'm going to go to Print Titles. And in this option, we're going to check to print our good lines. And we're also going to go to the Page Settings and adjust it to fit on one page. Okay. And if I do a print preview, there we go, we can see that our entire spreadsheet fits all on one page. This concludes our Excel Shop instructional video project. Thank you very much for watching, and have fun.